What should parents stop teaching their children? I don't have evidence for this, but as a primary school teacher I strongly suspect that parents say phrases to their kids like, "Oh, I was never good at maths at school," and this instantly signals to the kid that this is an area they'll never excel at, so why bother? Instead, kids need to be taught that concerted effort and failure led to mastery, no matter your family history. That wasting time is bad. Adults are so time poor that there's a lot of stress on doing it perfectly the first time so as not to waste time. I moved out of home at 22 unable to cook because it was always faster if my mum just did it herself. I pay people to mow my lawn because I'm really slow when I do it myself. I don't really have anything else to do, so time isn't a concern except that hiring someone is faster. I have students that can't research themselves because the parents just do it for them at home. Other students can't sit there contentedly for a few minutes without doing something because they're wasting time when they legit just need a brain break for a few minutes. Stranger danger. My wife teaches self-defense, and on a questionnaire she asked high school girls, "When would you not fight back?" They all said if it was someone they knew. But also on the surveys were responses about teachers and coaches and boyfriends doing inappropriate things. We teach kids to be scared of strangers, but most abuse comes from people we know in some capacity. And that they are rude for not kissing and hugging every family member. Seriously, if a kid is walking around giving everyone a hug except that one family member, maybe there's a good reason for that. That they can do whatever they want to do. I've seen a surprising number of parents letting their children do anything in public places. Absolutely the worst. That they're naturally intelligent or gifted. I know some people who were gifted when they were younger and often received praise for it. As a result, they started to slack off and did poorly in higher levels of education. I think parents should praise children for their hard work instead. Saying that they should always tell the truth, then proceed to get mad after they tell them the truth. Any double standard, really. Parents should really stop with the only people you can trust in this world is family mentality. It ends up being more dangerous and hurtful to the children than they realize. "I'm the only one you can trust" sounds like the foundation for an abusive relationship. If they're mean to you, they actually like you. I don't care if they like them or not, no one should be hurting anyone intentionally. Stop telling kids they'll get bullied for feeling emotions. The idea behind this is it will stop the bullying because the offender doesn't want to be seen as emotional, which is just as fricked up. Everything about this is fricked up and it just needs to stop. Stop teaching kids what to think instead of how to think. The number of adults who don't know how to make logical conclusions and rational arguments is ridiculous. And teach them the difference between feeling and thinking. That being smart matters over hard work. I am in astronomy, with a physics background. No lack of smart people. The ones who succeed though are the ones working hard to achieve their dreams. And they are definitely outnumbered by the kids told they are the next Einstein, who then arrive in freshman physics and have to drop out because they don't know how to work through actual challenges. It's better to be lucky than good. Michael Scott. To clear their plate. I am all against food waste, but I wish I had learned to stop eating when I was full instead of when there was nothing left on my plate. Would have saved me lots of body weight struggles. I have 3 daughters and I won't force them to finish their plate. I want them to learn to follow hunger and satisfaction cues. That life is fair. There's some sort of cosmic justice, and if you're a good person everything will work out. There's always some manipulative bastard waiting to take advantage of people who think that way. Critical thinking and skepticism should be taught young. That they're special. Most people are just normal and there's nothing wrong with that. Body issues. And by this, what I mean is, stop making jokes at the expense of other people and their bodies in front of your kid. Stop criticizing normal things about your own body in front of your kid. They absolutely do pick up on this. They aren't oblivious, and many times it has a negative impact on their own self-image, because they see your jokes, they see your criticism, and then they start taking a look at themselves. I've realized recently that this is why I have body issues. It sucks. To hug people as a way of being polite. Don't force kids to hug people they don't want to. Teach them manners, sure, but teach them physical agency. That the world owes them something. The world owes me a few weeks worth of sleep and $318.42 last time I checked. That it's shameful for boys to cry. My sil told my 2.5-year-old nephew not to cry because you're a man. I now do the Godfather you can act like a man every time I see her. Stop teaching your little girls that boys like them if they're being mean. Tell your girls to not put up with that. Start teaching your little boys that kindness goes a long way more than aggressiveness. Parents should stop teaching their kids that if you are nice to everyone they will be nice back at a young age. It is fine for their development, interaction and all that, but going through life thinking of only rainbows and butterfly are producing some crazy adults. It's a good life lesson, but it shouldn't get to the point where they feel that they must prioritize being nice over basic logic. Like, if someone's creeping them out, don't teach them to be all nice and welcoming. The internet is bad and video games cause violence. Shut up, bad man violence doer. The whole we don't teach our child the word no thing needs to die in a fire. The random beating up because I love you. Shame when it's unnecessary. For example, crying when they're sad or laughing too loud in public. Unnecessary suppression is incredibly unhealthy. My parents used to make funny songs about how I talk too much and made it a whole inside joke thing. Spoiler alert, I never talk now as an adult. Stop teaching kids the exact same crap you were taught. The "this is how we did it at my age" or "this is how I learned it" method of parenting is the worst. Sure, there are some very good lessons and concepts to be learned, but you need to adjust your parenting for the future, not the past. If you are pushing a bad idea and the only reasoning is because that's how we did it at my age, it's probably a crap way and you should re-evaluate the way you are doing things. Teaching their children to write in uppercase letters. Teach them the correct way. This would make life much easier for students and teachers. Points at mechanic, garbage man, etc. Look, little Jimmy, that's why you should get good grades. You don't want to end up like him. Frick that mentality. Stop telling your kids the only way to succeed in life is to go to school and go into debt to be a doctor, lawyer or whatever. Teach your kids there's not a dang thing wrong with working with your hands. Teach them not to be ashamed of a degree from a community college or trade school. They'll come out virtually debt-free and can honestly make just as good money in less than half the time. Especially when the mechanic makes way more money and the garbage man has much better benefits than someone who followed their dreams and got an English Lit degree. Full disclosure, I followed my dreams and got an English Lit degree. Stop teaching your kids that they can be whatever they want. Honestly, parents just tell their kids that boldness lie without realizing that kids take that crap to heart. And then you have a child who wants to be an artist or whatever. That's impossible, but they don't have a big plan to help them if it backfires. Teach them workable skills so they can work on them in the future. Help them, urge them. Not trying to sound trendy here, but I really do think, as a child of old boomers, that parents have to stop raising their kids with notions like manliness and being ladylike. If your son is allowed to go leaping off mud piles and throwing rocks at trains, then your daughter should be too, as long as everyone's old enough to play rough unsupervised, of course. If your son wants to cry and have a tea party with stuffed unicorns, that is fine too. The words manly and ladylike should be fricking erased from existence. People should still be free to adhere to traditional gender roles if that's what they prefer. I sure do. You can have my man cave when you haul my dead body out of it, but kids should not be socialized to believe that there is girl behavior and boy behavior. There is bad behavior and good behavior. I agree with you, but would like to add the opposite too. Don't discourage kids from liking something just because it's stereotypically gendered. I wasn't allowed to like anything too pink or girly. I wasn't allowed the Barbies with the pretty princess dresses. I had to play with astronaut Cindy, veterinarian Barbie, doctor play sets, instead of playing house. I'm a little bitter. It's okay to touch anything. I see what people think, but I hate touching those window lickers because I'm afraid I'm going to get sick. I hate people touching my car. So many kids people think nothing of leaning on cars, sitting on them. That crap is expensive to repair, or I get to live with a bunch of scratches on my car that I worked hard for. WTF, just stay off. That college is expected and you need to go. Trades and apprenticeship are often better options and you make money while training rather than spend it. Also, you won't have the problem of getting a degree no one is hiring for. This is only true right now. In the 80s, if you went to college you had it made. The trades were overpopulated, didn't pay well, and ruined your body. So everyone told their kid to go to college. Now colleges are flooded and trades pay well because people avoided them. In fact, there are fuckloads of people going into trades right now doing it all over again. Teaching them anything would be great. A new guy at work didn't know how to mop. That their kids are special. No, they are just like the other freaking billion kids on the earth. They are kids. Normal freaking kids. All you do by giving participation awards is teaching them that no matter what, you be awarded. Life isn't like that. No one owes you a dang thing. This isn't something that is intentionally taught, but holy crap, don't baby talk to your kids. It causes massive speech problems later in life. That there isn't always a way out. I have boys. I instruct them that if they find themselves confronted with a bully, they are to do whatever they can to get out of the situation. But as soon as it becomes clear to them there isn't a safe way out, they may have to fight. Don't worry about the consequences if it comes to this. Protect yourself and your brother. Be honest with me about what happened. And even should the school punish you, I sure won't for protecting yourself. The notion that the right thing to always do is to not fight or that someone will always be there to protect you is so ridiculous. My parents always told me that if I was to ever defend myself against someone, and I got in trouble at school, they wouldn't care at all. It's not what they do, it's what they don't do. Parents really should do something about the screaming. Seriously, when I was loud as a kid I was told to shut the heck up. Being loud was just rude no matter where I was. Now they just scream all the time everywhere I go. Ever since Chuck E. Cheese shut down, every other nearby Italian restaurant just became a McDonald's bullpit. East Side Marriott should change its motto from Bada Boom Bada Bing to a choir of wailing children screaming loud enough to shatter glass. Also, there's a matter of safety to consider. If some kid, literally right outside my kitchen window, was being kidnapped or beaten to death, how the frick am I supposed to know? Because it would sound exactly like every other day. The only clue I would have something is wrong would be screaming followed by very sudden silence. How to use smartphones and tablets at such a young age. Give them a dedicated gaming device like a DS or something if you must, but do not give full internet access to a child at age 2. Stranger danger. If someone is going to hurt your child, 90% chance it's someone they know and trust. I think stranger danger is still good to teach, but it's even better to teach them to be cautious in general, not anxious or terrified, just aware. That it's okay to spend hours on an iPad or phone. It was TVs before that, radios before that. This has been going on for at least 100 years. It's still probably wrong, but it's hardly a new problem and it seems like people are generally doing alright. That boys will be boys and that real men don't cry. That they have to share their toys with other kids. In adult life, if you were using something, and someone just came up and took it out of your hands, and when you rightfully get pissed off about it someone else said now, you need to learn to share. You'd look at them like they'd sprouted another head, take your item back and possibly threaten the person with physical violence. But if you rear a kid and some little brat comes along and steals something from under your nose, so many adults automatically tell them that they have to share. Bulls. You have to teach your kids that you just can't take crap off of other people. That they can be whatever they want to be when they grow up. We don't all get to be astronauts when we grow up. Somebody needs to man fire. I found there was a substantial lack of positive reinforcement throughout my childhood and during high school. I knew right away when I had done something stupid, but often my accomplishments didn't receive the same attention. Even recently I was accepted to a good university for engineering and offered a scholarship, and my mom called it a good plan F because she wants me to be a doctor. Not the best feeling when you put a lot of work into things and only your faults get recognized. May just be my parents, but I think it's worth mentioning that all kids sometimes need to hear good job from their parents. Not to question adults, teachers, elders, etc. authority. They need to question everything, including themselves and their own beliefs. They should stop giving them phones at young ages. Me and my brother both got our first phone at 11 as that's the age in the UK you go to secondary school. My younger sister is 8 and mum and dad just gave her an iPhone 6 for Christmas. She's already spoilt and she knew about the you don't get a phone till you're 11 rule yet still got one. This is going to make her think she can get anything she wants and she's also glued to it. TikTok, musical lie, her classroom group chat etc. Which is a shame as when I was her age I was still playing with dolls and Barbies. Stop teaching that you don't have to work for anything when you are young and everything is handed to you. I think they should instead teach them to work for what they want, like doing things around the house, and then they will get rewarded. That if they behave poorly, the police will take them to jail. Kids shouldn't be afraid of going to the police if they are in trouble and need help. You have been visited by the science doggo. Upvote now and you will get high grades and good results within the next week. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check out another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.